In today's video, I am going to be breaking down a strategy that I like to use myself with basketball plays that I pick for my teams. I coach multiple different teams. I coach one junior high school girls team. I coach a junior boys and senior boys high school team as well. And I coach U11 and U14 AAU basketball. So let's get down, let's check this out, and I'm going to explain to you a few different strategies that I like to run. So you need to know the makeup of your team. So for example, if you have a tall team, you may want to have a high and low post presence to your basketball play. Meanwhile, if you've got a short and fast team, you're going to be wanting to run more of a 5-out style offense to be able to run quickly. Or if you've got some really good passers who are big men, you can run a 4-out style offense where you can spread the floor really wide to be able to get a lot of lanes to attack from. The high post player would be essentially the point guard on the court, but it would be a big man, a center or a power forward, because he is going to be the one who orchestrates the offense. For example, player 1 can pass to player 5, player 3 and 1 can cut to the basket, and he would then have two different options to pass to, whether it be player 3 or player 1. So by knowing what your team makeup is, you can kind of orchestrate plays around what your team is going to be good or bad at. Now, when it comes to the plays itself, I really love motion style offenses. There's a million different types of them, but one of the most common ones is the 5-out basketball offense. For example, player 1 can pass to player 5 and then cut to the basket after he makes that pass. If he's open, player 5 could pass him the ball back for the layup. If he's not open, player 3 will then fill the top, player 4 will fill the wing, and then player 1 will then fill the corner. And of course, if you really want to have the complete breakdown of the 5-out offense, you can get the complete guide to the 5-out offense down in the description below. But if you have, for example, a tall team, you can actually run a 3-out motion offense, or what I like to call, or what many coaches like to call, a 1-3-1 motion offense. Basically, how this would look is you'll have a player in the high post, a player in the low post, a player on the wing, another player in the wing, and the player at the point. And these players are going to be switching while the passes are happening. So for example, if player 1 was to pass to player 2, player 1, if we're going against a man-to-man defense, will then set a screen away to player 3. After that pass is made, that screen is set, player 3 then fills the top, player 1 then fills the wing. Of course, if player 3 is open, he can take that 3. But what we're going to have now is having player 4 in the high post if the ball's on this side. Player 5 will be in the low post on the opposite side. There's a reason for that, and that is because now player 5 can try to post up his man on the inside. Player 2 passes to player 4, high to low post pass. Player 5 gets the reverse layup on this side, using the net as a defender against his defender so that he doesn't get blocked, and it should be a pretty easy basket. Now keep in mind that this offense does work really good and probably best against a zone. So just as an example, if player 4 was in the low post here, player 5 was in the high post here, and player 3 passed to player 2, we would then want player 4 to go to the high post on ball side, and player 5 would then go to low post off ball. Player 3 and 1 will switch, and the defense will most likely be shifted just like this. Meanwhile, we want to see that ball go into that high post. Player 5 is going to be posting up this man here, or he can cut across the key if it's wide open, one or the other. He needs to make these decisions for himself. And player 4 can have a pass from the high post to the low post for an easy basket for player 5. Now we are absolutely destroying them with our big men. And while this is more of a set style offense, a 1-3-1 is usually a set offense, you can run it as a motion as well, just like this. And the nice thing about motion offenses is there's usually lots of ball movement, lots of off-ball movement as well with players that can get your players open. For example, if we're running a 4-out motion offense, I would prefer player 4 to be in the high post, right in the middle of the free throw line. Player 1 will pass player 4 the ball, and when this happens, player 3 and 1 will both cut to the basket, and player 4 will have the option to pass to either one of these players. After they cut through, players 2 and 5 will be cutting to the wings or to the point. Players 1 and 3 will be cutting back out. And then, obviously, player 4 could pass to 2, could pass to 5. And then once these players clear out, something that player 4 can do in the high post is either take his man to the basket, or if you've got some really smart wing players here in the corners. For example, there's a player on my team that I coach for U14 who's really good off ball, who pays attention to his defender. And after this cut and then fill out, this defender is usually looking at the ball. And when that happens, my player will cut back door, and player 4 can then get him the ball in the low post for an easy layup. There's also another strategy that same player uses that I'm going to show you as well. So we actually run the 5-out offense standard. So when we come down the court, we set up in the 5-out. If we call for, and I'm not going to say the name in case there's coaches trying to scout me, but for this one single player, 4-out, and we'll call his name. When he goes to the high post, if they're expecting him to go to the high post, they are usually fronting him. Meanwhile, player 2 goes down towards that corner, and then player 1 will be filling that wing. When that happens, and if they're front-facing this player on my team, he'll actually cut back towards the basket, will do a lob pass over top of the defense for him, and then he'll get an easy layup every single time. So if you set up in a 5-out and then call a 4-out play, and you can call for the name, for example, for Arjun or for Etienne or for David or for Jimmy or whatever, that player will go to the high post, and if they're being front-faced like this one player gets all the time, just do a lob pass over top, he gets the ball. If the defense collapses, he's a smart enough player to know to kick it to the corners for a 3-point shot. So by knowing your team and understanding what your team is best at, you can orchestrate plays around their skills, but also what you can do is be able to then, of course, set it up so that it's a motion offense, so that it's a great off-ball movement over and over and over again. It's easier to learn, and you can run multiple different motion offenses back to back because they're just so easy to learn that you can just keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. By the end of the season, have 7 or 8 plays that give you 20 to 30 different options each. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.